Hey guys, Aaron Cybertron Zhang here, and today I'm back with another episode of Road to Rank where I climb the online Series 7 ladder and provide live commentary as I go. In the last episode, we featured a really fun team with Nidoking and Regirock, so we'll be playing a couple of more games with it today. But before we get started with this episode, this video is sponsored by Jins. Jins is a Japanese eyewear brand making really cool glasses, and earlier today they released a brand new line of Pokemon model frames. These are glasses that are inspired by Pokemon such as Pikachu, Eevee, Snorlax, and Mew. They come in all kinds of different colors and designs, and I am currently wearing the Snorlax green glasses. These glasses can be made prescription or non-prescription, and they're made for both children and adults, so there's really something for everyone out there. In addition to the glasses, you also get a really cool case, which you can see right here. There's a little Pokeball sign here, and if you open it up, there's some really awesome artwork. In addition, it comes with a really cool cleaning cloth as well, which I have right here. I don't normally wear glasses, but Jins currently is offering free blue light lenses in addition to these glasses, and I've never really tried blue light glasses before, so I figured why not. So if you get the Pokemon glasses at the moment, you can also get free blue light lenses as opposed to just the regular lenses. So you can go to the link in the description below and use Cybertron15 for $15 off your next order. By the way, if you are interested in trying out these glasses online, Jins actually has a really awesome virtual try-on, and it's super easy to use. You simply take a picture of yourself, and then the website simulates what all these different glasses look like on you. So I've linked this feature in the description below as well, and I'd highly recommend it. The Jins Pokemon model comes in all kinds of different designs and colors, and so, yeah, you really want to see which one suits you the best. But thank you to Jins once again for sponsoring this video. You guys know I don't take many deals on this channel, and I really liked the glasses that Jins sent me personally, and I am a big fan, so thank you. Alright, let's get into the first game of today's episode. Thank you as always for watching Road to Rank. If you enjoy, please share support by leaving a like. I'd really appreciate it. And thanks once again to Jins for sponsoring today's video. Okay, first game that we're up against here, we've got Tyranitar, Venusaur, Dusclops, Landorus, Torkoal, and Fini. Haven't seen Tyranitar in a while, actually, so that's pretty cool. But there's no other components of sand here, but of course there might be a potential weakness policy. Dusclops can of course bulldoze into Tyranitar to activate its weakness policy. This is interesting. Both Nidoking and Regirock look really good here, but the question is which one I want to go with. Regirock under Trick Room looks incredibly strong here, actually. The question is how I can get Trick Room up. The alternative is Thundurus Nidoking. It can be decent, but I don't do much damage to Dusclops, especially if I lead this. So I'm thinking... The interesting thing is that Thundurus does have that Lumberry. I think my opponent should play towards Landorus here. And that's one of the interesting things, like Regirock baits out Landorus, and so maybe Thundurus can like capitalize off that. I could just go with classic Thundurus Urshifu here, and then Dusclops Regirock, but I want to Dynamax Regirock is the thing here, I think. So I am going to lead... Okay, I'm going to lead Urshifu Fini, I think, with Dusclops and Regirock in the back. I really want to bring Nidoking here, but the problem is I feel like if it doesn't have a good lead matchup, it just kind of falls off very quickly. With this lead, I at least set up the terrain. I mean, the frustrating thing is if my opponent leads Venusaur, like I definitely could have just gone with Thundurus, right? Thundurus is probably one of the best answers to Venusaur, although a lot of Venusaurs are running Copa Berry nowadays. This Thundurus is Lum, so it doesn't have to worry about Sleep Powders either. And it is going to be Venusaur and Dusclops, okay. I guess the best lead against this may have been like Thundurus Urshifu. This is just going to be really interesting because what do you do if you're my opponent? Do you just max the Venusaur and like Vine Lash into the Tapu Fini, for example? That's definitely a possibility. I think I am leaning towards going for a Wicked Blow onto the Dusclops and then switching out Tapu Fini here into my own Dusclops. And try to play towards the Regirock in the end game, I think, is the goal. Yeah, like Nidoking wouldn't have done very much for us against this lead matchup specifically, right? So if I had to pick a better lead, I guess maybe Thundurus Urshifu, but then, I don't know, what do I do? Like, I could double up on a Dusclops, but then Dusclops maybe switches out into Torkoal. And as you can see, like, Copa Berry really has instantly become the most common item on Venusaur, it feels like. So, yeah, they're going to switch out here into Tapu Fini. That's a really good switch. Okay. And they're going to max Venusaur. So the question is whether or not I can really get Trick Room up in this game. Because if I'm eating up a Vine Lash here, that might not be good. Like, it might have been better to actually sacrifice Tapu Fini to get a free switch in into Dusclops. Because if I get a free switch in into Dusclops, then I can set up the Trick Room, but... Yeah, Venusaur is just such a strong Pokemon. Okay, we'll get the Wicked Blow off, but this obviously is not going to be very good. So great switch by my opponent turn 1. I'm guessing Torkoal should be their last Pokemon because they needed to cover for my Thundurus option a little bit better, I think. It's going to be Vine Lash here. Ideally, knocks out Urshifu, but they target Dusclops. Okay, I guess the question now is whether or not Dusclops can survive a double up this next turn, because if so, I can actually set up Trick Room, which would be really ideal, because then I can get Regirock in, and Regirock under Trick Room looks really good against my opponent's team, but I am not feeling super hopeful here. It looks like Dusclops will likely go down. Yeah, I guess I just Wicked Blow Venusaur and Trick Room here. It's not ideal. I guess leading Fini into a potential Venusaur wasn't the best idea. Pretty good damage from Wicked Blow, though. Okay, they're going to opt for Max Ooze here, actually. Oh, interesting. Into Dusclops. Are they going for Moonblast here? Alright, now are you targeting Dusclops? It makes sense to give Fini the special attack boost, right? Like, that definitely makes sense. But they are going to opt for Moonblast. I would think a double up onto Clops then. Yeah, otherwise that's kind of risky. So that makes sense if you... Oh! Wait, Dusclops hangs on despite the special attack boost. I was not expecting that. That's huge. That's absolutely huge. Okay. What do we do this next turn? I think what I do... Like, I need to get Regirock in safely, right? That's basically what I play to. I think I bring in my Tapu Fini here. Protect Urshifu. I'm going to be down 4-2, and I won't have Weakness Policy activated on Regirock, so it's still looking kind of bad, to be honest. But that was a clutch survival, I have to say. I'm going to Detect here and just go for a Moonblast onto the Fini. Because Max Rockfall should knock out either once we get Regirock in. I could even contemplate self-close combating to activate Weakness Policy. The problem is that that does a significant amount of damage, right? But Dusclops hanging on there was clutch. I think my opponent was better off if they actually just doubled up with a Vine Lash and Moonblast. I think that does more, honestly, because Ooze just does so little damage against the Dusclops there. But this was a tricky one because I think my opponent had a better lead. Leading Fini into a Venusaur was not ideal for us here. But I don't know how good Thundurus Urshifu could have been either. They actually switch out Venusaur, which is really interesting, but I guess they're probably expecting Specs Ice Beam into that slot, maybe back out into Dusclops. Yeah, that makes sense. So they give Reverse Trick Room potentially right now. But I don't even have Ice Beam here, so yeah, I just went for Moonblast onto the Fini. Okay, they Moonblast into our Protect, which is nice. We're going to get a Moonblast in return. They're at +1 special attack, which is obviously kind of scary. Good damage there. And we get a special attack drop, which is nice. Oh, and they're... Okay. Citrus, it looks like? Unless that's actually at 25%. Oh, wow. They're actually just in range for the Mago to activate. Okay. What to do here? I'm fishing for the free switching into Regirock, ideally, right? I could try to go for a double here, honestly, on the Urshifu, because like I don't really see a better play. I guess I could Sucker Punch Moonblast Fini, but Fini sticking around isn't even that bad for us, in my opinion. The main thing is that we've stalled out their Dynamax and gotten Trick Room up. I think if Regirock was boosted, this game would be like super over. But the thing is, if my opponent does have Torkoal, Dusclops, and Venusaur, if I get a single Curse off, it's looking pretty good. And I might actually contemplate going for that. Oh, they actually opted for Nightshade. That's interesting. Okay. I don't get the double, unfortunately, but it's fine. They're going to... Ooh, nice read. Wow, that's a really aggressive read. They actually read into me going for the double Protect, which is, I think, kind of a tough play to make. I don't knock out the Fini, which is really unfortunate, though. Okay. But I can Sucker Punch it now, and Urshifu should survive... Yeah, one more Nightshade. I'm really impressed by my opponent's play that turn, though. That's a tough play to make. I'm just going to Sucker Punch Moonblast. I'm basically playing towards Regirock in this late game. Like, try to get a Curse off and then try to 3v1 with it, basically. The good thing is that Urshifu will survive another turn. You can't KO with Nightshade. Sucker Punch will knock out the opposing Fini right now. So, I don't regret going for the double, but that was a really great read by my opponent, doubling up onto my Fini. It's impressive. They are going to Protect this time around, so another good play on their end. So I could have gone for Wicked Blow there, but I don't mind playing it safe right now to get the free switch in. Although I guess, actually, by targeting Urshifu... it's kind of awkward. Because I don't get that free switch in. This is interesting. Do you switch out your Tapu Fini? There's only one more turn of Trick Room left, too. So I guess I could Detect here, actually. That'd be really safe. Because then I pressure Wicked Blow onto Dusclops, which I like. Yeah, so I think I'm going to protect in Moonblast here. Like, I really think Regirock can actually sweep through my opponent's entire team right now, but I guess there's two questions. One, they might just be content clicking Sleep Powder. Yeah, they're going to switch Fini out to avoid a Sucker Punch. They're going to go out into Venusaur. Okay. Let's see if they KO the Urshifu here. Haha, Bulldoze. That's cool. And Fini survives with 1 HP. Nice. Okay. This is a really intense game, actually. Regardless of how it plays out, like, it was a fun one for sure. Bulldoze, Trick Room, Nightshade. I would think Pain Split's your last one, but I can't confirm that yet. The thing is, if you're my opponent here, you can switch Dusclops out into Torkoal. I think that's a pretty likely play. I really need the KO on Venusaur here. You can't Pain Split here. I'm going to Sucker Punch and Moonblast it here, I think. Because we've already chipped away at everything on my opponent's end. Yeah, they switched Dusclops out. I think it should be Torkoal coming out. Yep. So we know all 4 of my opponent's Pokemon. If Venusaur goes down, and we still have our Dynamax to play with, like Regirock's looking good. If I somehow pick up a knockout with Sucker Punch here, I think we actually are in a really good spot. Oh, nice. That's a huge KO. Wow, Urshifu really put in the work here. Okay, it's actually not looking too bad anymore. I was kind of nervous given how the early game played out, but Specs Moonblast also does like almost 50% to Torkoal. We did get lucky with that special attack drop onto Fini. That was very fortunate. But now you just have Urshifu, which can just click Wicked Blow, and I still have Dynamax Regirock waiting in the back. So somehow... GG. I didn't even get to bring Regirock in that game. Yeah. We got lucky in that one for sure, right? We had that special attack drop on Fini. Yeah, and I don't know. I think that match would have been a lot easier for my opponent if they just went Vine Lash Moonblast into Dusclops. I was thinking that'd be enough to pick up a KO from the range that we were at, but... that was funny. Yeah, I think that game was over as soon as Venusaur goes down, to be honest, because I think Urshifu just knocks out the Dusclops or Fini, so whichever one you switch in, I get a clean knockout, and then Regirock should be able to close out that game. But, that was funny. Okay, man, I really want to bring Nidoking here. They have a Celesteela. We haven't gone up against a Celesteela on Road to Ranked yet, but like I said, I played like 15 practice games with this team. Celesteela was consistently like the hardest Pokemon to beat, so I'm not looking forward to that. Obviously they have Coal stuff here, right? They have Primarina, which can Aqua Jet, as opposed to the Urshifu, and then they have Dragapult as well. Is Coal that scary? Not super scary. Like, I don't know. I mean, I could just go Dusclops and, like, go the Regirock route. You can see the awkwardness of Nidoking. Like, once again, does it have great coverage here? Yeah, it actually hits 5 of my opponent's 6 Pokemon for super effective damage, but the reality is that it'll probably get one shot before it can move. That's the tricky thing here. I guess because I think you're probably going to be support Dragapult, I don't think you can Phantasm to KO Dusclops, so maybe we just go with the Trick Room route here. Like, I'm thinking of just leading Urshifu and Dusclops with a Regirock in the back. And I think I kind of need Fini here because Specs Fini is kind of good against Celesteela. Otherwise, Celesteela is actually a really big problem for us. So, yeah. Thinking back to that last game, I think one of the main things is that I didn't lose either Fini or Urshifu, right? My opponent kept splitting the targeting between the two, and I think that actually helped us in the end because, like, we managed to get Urshifu, like, go use Urshifu in Trick Room and then stall at the Trick Room to the point where Urshifu could just put in that much work, right? Okay, it's just Dragapult and Coal, which is fine by me. I think I'm just going to launch Close Combat into Coalossal. Sash Pult, okay. Is it Close Combat here, actually? Because I guess the Surf just breaks my Focus Sash here, right? I like Trick Rooming. I definitely like Trick Rooming. I just wonder if there's merit to just outright protecting Urshifu here. The thing is, Urshifu going down isn't even that bad, right? Because then I just get a free switch into Regirock, and then I can Rockfall, like Bulldoze Rockfall. I just think this Dragapult is Ally Switch, and that's going to be tough to play around. Okay, honestly, yeah, I'm just going to Trick Room and Detect turn 1. Because I don't think you can knock out Dusclops here. Oh, they actually switch Coal out. Maybe into Primarina? Ah, okay. I'm fine with this, though. I think maybe a screens right now. All right, they're just breaking swipe. Okay. Honestly, I'm content with that, I feel like, because now I'm just going to Nightshade the Primarina. Actually, maybe I just double up onto Dragapult, right? Actually, no, Dragapult being on the field is good for us, because it doesn't do anything. So, like, I'm down to just Nightshade into Primarina here and just launch a Wicked Blow to break Dragapult's Sash. And then we bring Regirock out. They don't max Primarina. That's kind of surprising to me, but I guess they might just be going for a Hyper Voice. Either way, though, they take a chunk of damage, which is huge, actually. I guess my opponent's probably committed to Dynamaxing Cole, right? Like, that makes the most sense to me. But the thing is, if you knock out my Urshifu here, I just get Regirock in, and then I can just go Bulldoze, Dynamax, Rockfall. Right? And then the Bulldoze KOs the Dragapult, and Rockfall, I think, would KO Primarina, but, yeah, maybe they... I don't know. The question is always, like, do you Dynamax Primarina here? Especially because both Dragapult and Primarina are kind of used to support the Coalossal with this team, right? I'm actually kind of surprised my opponent didn't just push the go button on turn 1 with the Surf and, like, target the Urshifu. But, yeah. I can just Brain Regirock right now. I think conserving Fini in the back is fine because we want terrain control. I think that's important. I could get really gutsy here and go for a Bulldoze, but no, I don't think so. Sorry, what I was going to say. Not Bulldoze. Curse, but yeah, that's not a great play. The great thing about this, though, is that Dusclops is faster under Trick Room, so even if you ally switch, Bulldoze just covers for the ally switch option. So, I think we're in a really good spot right now. Especially because Primarina did take a big chunk of its HP because it didn't Dynamax last turn, so... Maybe my opponent just doesn't want to Dynamax it, which makes sense. I'm still nervous about Celesteela in the back. I think Celesteela is a very, very tough matchup, so... If that is the last one, it makes sense that my opponent's trying to just stall out my Dynamax and then like try to sweep with Celesteela in this late game. That could be really scary. But Specs Fini is not a bad answer to it, especially if we actually stall out the Dynamax. Okay, so Pult switches out. And there's Celesteela. Okay. Would have been sick to have sniped Celesteela there, but it's okay. If we can get rid of Primarina here, that's still pretty good. I just think that the Celesteela endgame is scary because part of the problem here is if I really want to beat Celesteela, Thundurus is typically the best answer, but as you can see, my opponent covers Thundurus really well with the Coalossal. Like, you really don't want to bring Thundurus out into Coalossal, right? And that's why my opponent led Dragapult Coalossal. If I lead Thundurus into that, it's just so bad for us on turn 1. Okay, so yeah, so they don't max the Prim. I guess you probably Dynamax the Celesteela then, right? But we get the policy off. I get the one-hit KO into Primarina. It's just whether or not Regirock can do enough into the Celesteela in this late game. Because my damage output against Celesteela is not exactly amazing because I don't have any super effective damage. And Celesteela is a really bulky Pokemon. But Primarina should go down here, which is good. So that's like the main offensive threat to Regirock out of the way, right? Because Primarina is a special attacker. Regirock really doesn't like taking those special attacks. So that's not bad. Okay, Dusclops takes some chip here. Let's see. You probably bring in Cole, right? Protect Cole could be interesting. I don't think I really need to care about Coalossal at this point, quite frankly, with Fini in the back. Well, how many turns of Trick Room are left? I guess that's something I should be aware of. There's still 2. Like, I honestly want to Nightshade and Rockfall Celesteela here. Because I can just one-shot Coalossal next turn anyway. And I really need damage onto Celesteela more than anything. My opponent also has now revealed they don't have Rillaboom, which means that Tapu Fini has a better endgame here, which is good. If I were my opponent, I'd Dynamax Celesteela and just give up on Coalossal. Yeah, Coalossal protects here, but they don't Dynamax Celesteela, which is good. Protect? Ooh, they don't even protect? That's huge! I think that might just win us the game. I don't know if this KOs, let's see. This probably doesn't KO. Celesteela's so bulky. Oh, never mind, Regirock. You are a beast. I'm sorry for ever doubting you. That's just game over. I am really shocked my opponent did not Dynamax that turn. I think what they were maybe playing towards is Dynamaxing Coalossal in the last turn. I was expecting Protect there, but I thought Celesteela would have maxed there. But, you know, it very likely could be a defensive Celesteela, which is why my opponent might have been hesitant to max. And once again, because we have Bulldoze here, we can cover for the ally switch option, which is awesome. So we can just go for Bulldoze and Max Quake right now. So my opponent needs a double Protect here, I think, with the Coalossal to stand a chance. And Coalossal I don't think can KO, because I have both Regirock and Tapu Fini now in the back. I still have Tapu Fini in the back. Once you commit your Dynamax here, like, Dragapult's always going down because of the Sandstorm. Even if, I mean, you can't protect, obviously. I mean, if you protect, you'll faint from the Sandstorm, otherwise I'm just going to Bulldoze. The one downside of bulldozing here is that I might activate a policy on Coalossal, but with the Sandstorm up and with us having Max Quake, like I really don't think it's that much of a big deal. I just really wanted to cover for Ally Switch here. And I guess there's a chance Coalossal is actually faster. Oh, we did lower its speed, so I don't know. I did just activate its weakness policy. I don't think you one-shot Regirock with the Sand up, though, even if you do outspeed us under Trick Room now. But yeah, we're still faster. Okay, good. Yeah, so Max Quick here should just finish up the deal, but even if not, Coalossal can't really, do anything. Nice. Okay, so we managed to beat Celesteela with Regirock, but that didn't feel great, because if my opponent just protected there, or had Dynamax Celesteela, this would play out very differently, I think. And I consistently struggle against Celesteela, like, had struggled against Celesteela when playing against it, and I think you need to, like, identify when Thundurus is the answer to it, and when it's not the answer. In this game, it wasn't the answer, because our opponent had Urshifu. Sorry, not Urshifu, what am I saying? They had a Celesteela. They had Celesteela. The answer to our Thundurus was the Coalossal. So that was the main thing I had to look out for. But not a bad string of games there. That one was pretty clean as well. And I think the lead matchups, if you can lead properly with this team, you often will gain such a big advantage. Because, like, if you can call correctly whether to set up, like, Trick Room or whether to go with the Tailwind stuff. Or, sorry, not the Tailwind stuff, the Max Airstream stuff. It's just so good. We're up against Mudsdale here. This actually reminds me of Eduardo Cunha's team, which I know he got second with in like a big grassroots tournament yesterday, featuring Mudsdale. Like, the only difference is like this team has Rillaboom, and then Eduardo's team had Zapdos with Life Orb, I believe. Mudsdale's a big problem, I think. Specs Fini is going to need to come out to beat that. Kind of like leading Nidoking here. Porygon's a problem. I think Urshifu needs to come out for that. I think it's going to be... Do I not bring Regirock? That's probably the answer. But, like... Cursing here would be so nice. But it's just I don't do damage into Mudsdale anyway, right? I think Mudsdale is actually a really tough matchup for us here. It's not a Pokemon that is super common, but I think it's going to see a big spike in usage, especially with Eduardo using it. I'm leaning a little bit towards Thundurus Nidoking here. Okay, what does my opponent lead that scares me, though? Like, Porygon Incin? No, you're never going to lead Incin into me, because I have Thundurus. I think, honestly, like, a Lecky Porygon is likely. I'm down for Nidoking Urshifu here, actually. Fini in the back. And maybe still, like, maybe it's a late-game Thundurus instead of an early-game Thundurus. I feel like the main problem I have here is that my Dynamax options against Mudsdale aren't great, right? You don't normally want to Dynamax Nidoking with this team. Thundurus is one of the primary max options as well as Regirock, but neither of those are very good here, especially against a Mudsdale. So maybe it is Dynamax Fini then. Yeah, it's a Lucky and Mudsdale. Okay, that makes sense because you have the Alecki to cover for Mudsdale's water-type weakness. I guess this is okay for us. Like, what do you do here for my opponent? Volt Switch Alecki for sure. I guess it could be Screens as well. Or Sash, but I feel like you want to conserve it because that's the best answer to Tapu Fini, right? I don't know. I'm really nervous about this Mudsdale, so I actually want to just Wicked Blow and Ice Beam it outright. Just get as much damage off as possible on turn 1, especially if that thing Dynamaxes, because then it's in KO range potentially from Fini. And if Mudsdale is really low, then we could potentially consider Dynamaxing the Thundurus. Yesterday I did get Specs Hyper Beamed on turn 1 by Alecki, so that's always a potential possibility. I don't know. Maybe it was better to protect Nidoking and just Wicked Blow into Alecki, but I could definitely see Alecki just going for a Volt Switch under Urshifu into maybe Porygon, for example. Well, Porygon's kind of risky. You probably want to go into Fini here. Or Kartana, actually. If you have Kartana, man, that's the best Pokemon to switch into. So, the horse is loose, and it is looking scary right now. Okay. Is it Volt Switch? Okay, good. So because we're Sash, we survive this. That does not look like Specs damage, so that's also good to know. I don't know, the other play is, like, maybe I just double up onto the Alecki slot, because, like, I can cover anything coming in with Wicked Blow or Sludge Bomb, but if Kartana comes out... it was Porygon, okay. That's fine, to be honest. Is it fine? They can get Trick Room up, and this should be a special attack boost, right? Yeah, maybe it's not fine. Let's see how much damage we do with this double up. It's okay. Oh, that's really good damage from Life Orb Ice Beam, though. Okay, and they are Policy. So, I mean, they were going to pick up a one-hit KO here anyway, so that was kind of expected. I guess this does give them a Spadef boost, though. Okay, but they target Nidoking, which is a big deal. Because now I can just bring in Specs Fini, right? And I have Close Combat. Yeah, I just... The lack of Dynamax option here is really, really bad, I think. Like, I want to just bring out Specs Fini and just Muddy Water Close Combat. I don't know if that's enough to knock out Porygon because it has that special defense boost now. I would think so, but Porygon's just so bulky. The other question is whether or not I even knock out Mudsdale here. Maybe Mudsdale feels safe in attacking. Ally Switch Porygon is also rising in usage, and I could definitely see it coming out right now, and that scares me as well. The thing here is, does my opponent get greedy? Because I have Specs Scald, and if they don't expect the Specs, like, maybe we just pick up a KO. Because I do think Max Guarding here, like, I don't know. I definitely Close Combat Porygon, it's just whether I Muddy Water. I don't think Specs Muddy Water KOs with the Spadef boost. Actually, I don't know, maybe it is enough. It's close. I don't know this calc super well, but this probably covers my options best. And they switch out, okay. Into Fini, yeah, that makes sense. Do they protect with the... They do Max Guard, okay. This is decent then, I think, because I can just double up onto the, horse next turn, right? I'm just worried about my late game. I don't really have enough damage here, I feel like. Because I've already lost a lot of offense. They don't have Kartana, though, which is good. We do just under 50% to Fini. No accuracy drop. Yeah, I think it's just got to be Muddy Water here. Oh, can I detect? I might just faint to a Max Quake anyway. I don't think Specs Muddy Water knocks out Mudsdale. Yeah, I guess I just Wicked Blow Muddy Water here, but I don't know. This endgame does not feel super good to me, because they still have Porygon and Regieleki in the back. Regirock actually would have been pretty good against Fini, Regieleki, and Porygon if I get the Sand up. But my opponent's made some great switches. Turn 1, turn 2. Like, I could have just close combated the Regieleki slot turn 1, which is why I thought Fini was coming in. They actually switch out Mudsdale. That's interesting. Okay. I was going to say, if they went into Regieleki there, that would be a gigantic toss, because I think Regieleki is your, best answer against Fini right now, but Porygon makes sense. Close combat may have been smarter than to cover for a Porygon switch in, actually. So, kind of wish I went for that instead. Because Close Combat should knock out the... Close Combat Muddy Water should knock out the horse anyway, right? I mean, do I Dynamax Tapu Fini? Like, that's actually a possibility right now. Accuracy drop here would be huge, but no accuracy drop, unfortunately. They're going to Moonblast into Urshifu, yeah. Huh. What do I do? I could Airstream for a speed boost. Like, I'm actually leaning towards Airstream Muddy Water onto Porygon. Because I don't think that Regieleki is spexed. Okay, the question is, does +2 Fini knockout outspeed their Regieleki? It gets to 240, so no, it's not guaranteed. The other play is to max Knuckle here into Porygon. Get an attack boost. I don't think that attack boost helps us immediately, though, right? Whereas this Airstream boost helps us at speed Regieleki if it comes out next turn. So I'm down for Airstream Muddy Water. Because Specs Muddy Water is looking really good against my opponent's team. Honestly, I'm kind of surprised they switched the Mudsdale out, because I feel like Porygon was really good in the late game, because I don't... Like, Porygon's just one of those Pokemon that can be really annoying to deal with, because it can just heal all the damage you do to it, right? But if you switch it in the way my opponent did, then I can just get a chunk on it now. This should pick up a KO, but what I'm nervous about is missing Muddy Water. I obviously don't have a choice with the Fini. I could have Dynamaxed Tapu Fini. Actually, maybe Dynamaxing Fini was the call. If I Dynamax Fini, I can Superpower into the Porygon. I just don't know the item, which is tricky on the Regieleki. Okay, they don't protect or switch. That's not a KO. Please hit Muddy. If we miss Muddy Water, I think we lose right here. So maybe this was too high risk because Muddy Water's accuracy is not exactly the best. Okay, it hits though, thankfully. That's huge. I don't know. The thing, it's maybe a little bit more consistent to Dynamax the Fini. Oh, and we get an accuracy drop. Okay, everything's been going our way today, which has been quite fortunate. Okay, they're buried. That's fine. Maybe Moonblast into my Fini here. That would make a lot of sense. Yeah. Was Dynamaxing Fini the call? I don't know. I don't know. You bring out, what, a Lecky now? You definitely bring out a Lecky. It's a hard throw if you bring out Mudsdale, I think. Because then I just Airstream Muddy Water and I win the game. So you have to bring out Regieleki. Now the question is, how fast is your Regieleki? Because I think I'm just going to Airstream into the Alecki and Muddy Water to cover for it being Focus Sashed. It gives Fini a speed boost, and then the question is your Regieleki fast enough to outspeed my Tapu Fini, basically? If not, I think we win the game. I guess my opponent could also protect Alecki here, but no, that actually would work in our favor. The problem is still relying on these late-game Muddy Waters to hit. So, we'll see. Regieleki is just so fast it can outspeed Pokemon even at +2 speed, which is just a testament to how speedy it is, but given the Volt Switch damage onto the Urshifu, I don't know, I'm thinking it's a little bit bulkier, maybe a Light Clay variant, that would be ideal. Slow Light Clay, and then I'd pick up a KO with the double up here. They protect Fini, that's more than okay, good. That's not the problem right now that we're trying to deal with. Oh, they still outspeed. That's the problem. Wait, I thought Thundurus always outspeeds Alecki. Wait, I want to double check the speed stat here. I didn't expect that. I thought Thundurus would definitely outspeed it. Did they lower our speed at any point? I don't think so, right? Okay. If this KOs though, maybe it's still okay. It does KO. Oh, here's the awkward thing. I really don't want to max Lightning to... I don't want to max Lightning. Max Knuckle would have been the play there, then. I'm really shocked Alecki... Wait, okay, I need to double check Alecki's speed stat, because I thought Thundurus at +1 outspeeds Alecki. And I guess I might be wrong, unless it's actually Scarf Alecki, which maybe is the case here. Yeah, we are max speed. How much speed does Alecki hit if you're maxed? 277? Oh, wow. Yeah, I'm just wrong in thinking that Thundurus outspeeds. That's just max speed Alecki. Oh, I don't know if Airstream KOs Fini here. But I don't think I get max Lightning, right? It just sets up the terrain, and then Regieleki knocks me out the next turn. Is my play to max Knuckle here, actually? Because now I outspeed Alecki. Yeah, I actually think it was the max Knuckle there. I don't know. I mean, if we KO here, can Alecki two-shot us is the question. Okay, Thundurus put in work here, honestly, in the late game, but dang. Yeah, I missed out my speed tiers a little bit. I thought Thundurus at +1 outsped Alecki, but that's... If you're max speed Alecki, that's not the case. Ooh, they are screens! So are you max speed screens? That's what it's looking like here. So how much damage do you do with Volt Switch is the question. I don't know. This is going to be an interesting endgame. Is it Light Clay screens max speed? That's what it's looking like here. I might as well protect. I don't see any reason not to here. They might not even have any other offense other than Volt Switch. I wonder then if Tapu Fini could have survived that Volt Switch. It was close. Either way, this was a really fun game. Yeah, their only offense is Volt Switch. Okay. Oh, man. I don't know if Superpower is the play right now. Like, it does the most, but it lowers my attack stat. I think do I just maximize? Because they're always going to be able to get a Reflect Up anyway, right? So do I just keep launching Superpower into Alecki? I think Alecki is more favorable in this position. Like, it's looking good for my opponent. And I don't want to take any recoil from Wild Charge either, and Fly can miss, so I guess it is just Superpower. I don't know, maybe it was go for... Oh wait, that's really good damage. 2 more should KO. How much does Volt Switch do over 50 here? Oh, it does. Oh, that was so close. Wait, okay. Maybe they're not screens. There's only 2 turns of Reflect left. So I can Protect here. Wow. Wow. Wild Charge wasn't going to do enough anyway. I actually wonder if the play then was to go for a Fly. I think the play right now is just to go for a double and hope that they are like Sash instead of... I think they're going to be Light Clay though. So it's either to go for a double or just try to crit Superpower outright. The thing is, if we get the double and they end up not being Light Clay, we just win, right? If we Superpower, we're just relying on a crit. The odds of a double Protect are higher than a crit anyway. I'm going to go for the double. But we don't get it. Okay. GG. I think they're probably Light Clay anyway, so I think they probably end up winning this, but that was a really close game. I messed this one up slightly, though, because I forgot that Aleki... Yeah, I forgot that Aleki actually outspeeds if you're max speed against Thundurus. I really didn't think they'd be max speed here also, to be honest. So what would have been better was going for a max Knuckle onto Porygon, because if I max Knuckle in that position, I give myself an attack boost, and that single attack boost basically makes a difference here. Oh, we can actually check their team, and I'm really curious. It was Light Clay in the end. Wow, this is max special attacks, though. I guess Aleki just does kind of, yeah, not great damage with Volt Switch. They had Electro Web here in the end as well. What was the other play I was thinking of? Max Knuckling into Aleki. Then I eat up a Volt Switch. No, they reflected that turn, didn't they? Max Knuckling onto Aleki also may have won it for us, because then I can just Wild Charge into the Fini and then Superpower into the Aleki. I think that may have been the play instead then. Yeah, that was a really close game. The Aleki put in a lot of work here, and I think... Had I gone for a Max Knuckle at some point instead of a Max Airstream with the Thundurus, things would have played off a little bit better for us here. But, you know, I can't like, feel too bad about that. I thought my opponent played that really well as well. I thought the Mudsdale switch out was kind of surprising, to be honest, but Mudsdale in general was not exactly the best Pokemon to go up against. And turn 1, I think I needed to chunk it away for as much damage as I did. So... It was tough because I didn't know the Aleki's moveset here, and like some Alekis don't opt for max speed just because it's such a speedy Pokemon, but this is a good example of how like investing in speed can help you, right? By investing in speed, my opponent was able to outspeed Thundurus even at +1. Yeah, so it was Policy, Mudsdale here, Wiki Berry, Calm Mind, Trick Room with Bolt Beam, Citrus, Incin, and then AV Kartana, I'm assuming? Yeah. Max Special Attack, Max Speed, Light Clay Aleki. Was not expecting that, honestly. Yeah, if I just Max Knuckle there, would I have won into Aleki? Because they did go for Reflect, and they, what? Oh, no, but then they could just Protect Fini the next turn, so... Oh, but if I Max Knuckle into Aleki, I can Superpower it next turn and then Wild Charge Fini. Especially because Alekis don't carry Protect, so... I actually think Max Knuckling there would have been the play. Like, getting the knockout onto Fini doesn't accomplish that much there, because we shouldn't take that much damage that turn anyway. Plus, the Fini had an accuracy drop, so there was a chance it could miss. The problem is I didn't know, like, I was just worried about T-Bolt from Aleki, right? If Aleki T-Bolts and Fini Moonblasts, then you probably put me in KO range from another T-Bolt or Moonblast. But, as it turns out, this Aleki actually didn't have T-Bolt, which I maybe should have deduced, but I didn't know what set it was. I knew it wasn't Specs, so Clay was more likely, but didn't know the full moveset there. But that was a fun game, so yeah, well played by my opponent, and I think Mudsdale is a Pokemon you're going to see rise in usage in the next couple of weeks, and I think this game highlights the strength of Aleki, right? Not only was able to do so much damage into my Fini. Yeah, and I was surprised that, like, at first I was surprised Fini got KO'd because I didn't think that Aleki was super invested, but turns out it was enough. I actually do want to do that damage calc now, too. I'm wondering if Fini could have survived there, because if Fini survives, I think we definitely win the game. Regieleki, I think we're at, what, like 60%-ish or so probably not, but this is Timid Volt Switch. That should be enough for a KO, I think. Yeah, I think that would have been enough, so I don't think we could have survived that Volt Switch, because it was modest max in the end. So, if anything, I'm actually just surprised Urshifu took not as much damage, but I guess Aleki is not that strong if you're not running like a Specs on it, so yeah. Either way, though, thank you guys so much, as always, for watching today's episode. Thank you to Jin for sponsoring this video. Once again, use Cybertron15 on their website. Use that URL in the description below or down there on the overlay for $15 off your next order. And yeah, thanks as always for watching. I'll catch you all next time. All right, peace.